What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today we're going to talk about Professor X. And I think everybody pretty much knows the answer is whether or not you should really level up this character. Now, if he is your favorite character, guys, and this goes without saying for any character in any game, you should go ahead and level them up. If they're your favorite and you really want to get the most out of them, you should absolutely build them, level them up, max them out. Enjoy your favorite character because games are all about having fun and having a good time. Now, if I'm looking at this character from a practical standpoint, he's an easy skip, guys. He's an easy skip. I want to give a shout out to Free to Play Adventures because he did an ABX comparison between Magneto and Professor X in ABX, and Magneto outscored Professor X by 3 million points, both at tier 4. That is a huge, huge difference. So right there already lets you guys know that he's not going to be an ABX meta, at least compared to Magneto. The only thing that I've really seen this guy actually be useful for, because I talked about this in the last video, guys, there's a lot of restrictions that don't allow him to be used very much in the game, especially considering the cost that you would invest in this character. Now, I did make a mistake in the last video where I said you could only get him from the Dimension missions by chance, but you can buy them for 4,500 crystals in the shop if you don't have them already. But that's still a very hefty price tag, considering you're still going to have to level up his uniform. You're still going to have to buy a mega uniform ticket in order to do that. And it's just a lot of investment and money in a character that you really don't get much use of at all. Again, if he's your favorite, go for it. Why not? But really the only use I've actually seen for this character so far is actually, other than just enjoying him in whatever game mode, is in World Boss against Mephisto at the high level of stage 80 or stage 95, my bad, right? This is where you could actually use him. Evidently, when he's at tier 4, he can do this. When he's at tier 4, he can do this on a good account. So I do want to throw it out there if someone's trying to do it. Evidently, Magneto is extremely hard to keep alive. But honestly, guys, I think that you're still going to have a hell of a time trying to do this with Professor X too, because he's got some serious survivability issues. Maybe at tier 4, it's not as much because he's going to have higher HP stats and so on. But man, he's got some serious survivability issues, and that is a critique of the uniform that I have, especially considering the cost. Like, his damage is pretty good. He's actually fairly proc friendly, and these animations are absolutely gorgeous. We're not going to run through all that again, guys. I talked about all that in yesterday's video, but I have a really crap build on him, and in today's video, we'll show that he does have some really good damage. He's got 45,000 energy attack. He's got, crap critical damage, 166%. It's nice that he's got the leadership tag. That's nice, but there's plenty of characters that have leadership tag. They can already do the leadership stages against Mephisto. I mean, it's not really neat, especially, again, considering the cost. You always have to take in the amount of resources and investment you put in a character as far as whether or not they're worth leveling up. How useful will they actually be? And unfortunately, in Professor X's case, I don't think very useful at all, guys. I think honestly, I really do think he's a big skip, and that sucks. That sucks. The leader of the X-Men is actually pretty awesome, but yeah, I don't think Netmar really did him that well. He doesn't have any Urus on him. Now, we talked about all this, right? He's got accumulation now. You can cancel the 3, the 4, the 3, and the 5 immediately. You can delay cancel his tier 3, go into the 4. And when it comes to his rotation, guys, he is a little finicky when it comes to playing with a proc, because you do have to delay cancel that damn tier 3. And sometimes, I mean, if you're not right on the money with it, it will set off the proc, and it can be a little bit of an annoying thing. Really putting a rage on him or a judgment would be a lot better, but it's literally 3, 5, 4, right? Sorry about the lag, guys. I'm using an emulator here. 3, 5, 4 is the way to go, and just do that 2 times, right? Now, what I like to do is I go 3, 5, 2, 4. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll go 3, 5, 2, 4, only much faster, right? And I'll do that twice, and I throw in the 1 afterwards. Whenever you hit the 1, you can actually move it around and try to get out of danger, which is actually really, really nice. And that's cool. So really 3, 5, 2, 4, 3, 5, 2, 4. And then you're going to have the tier 3 ready. And this is really optional, guys. It really depends on the kind of player you are. But whenever you hit this tier 3, that's when you want to delay it. You just want to delay it a little bit and then go into the 5, 4. And man, it can be a little tricky sometimes. Sometimes you can set off the proc early, and it can be a little bit annoying. Even when you do 3, 5, 2, 4, sometimes that second scale can even set off the proc. So maybe it might be safer just to go 3, 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, right? And throw in the 2, 1 after you do the 3, 5, 4. Then that might be a lot better. He's only got stage 6 power bank rock set. He has no artifact. And he's just got a little mind damage with 180% damage proc. It's a decent obelisk, but it's nothing spectacular. Then, of course, the uniform is normal because there's no way that I'm going to level this thing up, guys. I'm just not going to level it up. And as far as his damage, this is stage 34, and you guys can see how much damage he does with this build that I have that doesn't have any Urus with a normal ranked uniform, right? I also find that sometimes his 4, sometimes he doesn't set off the proc early enough. It's really weird. Sometimes he sets it off really early, sometimes he doesn't. Now there we landed proc on target both times. I'm using the one afterwards to kind of get out of danger. Then I'll hit the tier 4, then I go 3, 5, 4. Right? And there we landed the proc, but the proc came a little bit late. And that can be a little bit annoying whenever you're playing with this character. I'm just going to do the first phase against Null just to give you guys an idea of how strong he is. But stage 34, guys, honestly, with this build, it's really good. At level 70, it's honestly some really good damage. But man, because his 4 is just sitting in the pocket, it's not an iframe, he can take a lot of damage. And it's also nice, by the way, that he does have immunity to guard break. That's really good as well because he doesn't get guard broken. But them toxic meteorites, guys, the tentacles, because you're right in front of the boss when you're doing your 4th skill, which is where the proc is, you'll just take so much damage, man. He dies super, super easy. And it's just, but he is a fairly easy character to play for the most part. This isn't a perfect, first phase here. I do miss the proc a little bit for sure, because again, sometimes he does set it off a little early. It can be a little bit of an annoying. There we go. We actually landed the proc where it belongs. I mean, he's got good damage, guys. Honestly, this is really good. Not the best, but still pretty good. But considering again his cost, I don't think it's really good enough. And honestly, his survivability definitely isn't good enough. 20% HP heal, guys, and 20% decreased damage received, along with the 30% decreased damage received that we're actually getting from Polaris there, just isn't enough. This is just stage 34. If you're pushing higher levels, like that Mephisto stage 95, granted, you're going to need him to be a tier 4, but that is going to be extremely hard, right? That's going to be a very difficult clear to do. At least I would assume so, unless he gets some insane HP buff where that 20% HP is going to heal him for even more, right? They really should have made his tier 4, give him a little bit more survivability, so at least that way maybe it would have made it somewhat worthwhile to tier 4 the character, right? I just don't feel like they did a good enough job on Professor X, again, considering his cost, right? It's the thing that plagues a character like this, not to mention that he is a blast mutant male, where you can't use him very often at all. I mean, and it just sucks for me to say that I feel like he's an easy skip. This is a huge upgrade for him compared to the wheelchair, guys. This is a huge upgrade. It is way stronger than what it was. So if you're a Professor X fan and you really want to make the most out of him, then it's definitely worth buying. It's definitely a must-buy uniform. But just know that you're not going to be able to really use this character that much, considering how much you're going to have to invest in him, especially if you decide to max him out. But guys, let me know what you think about Professor X, and I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GW7 time. The link is in the description below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody. Take care.